evening, welcome or welcome back to Golem Telly. I am your host, the magical Mr. E. Now I've just got back from the cinema and I saw The Empire Strikes Back, so I'm in a Star Warsy mood tonight. It happens more often than you might think, and I thought it would be nice to keep that going. Let me show you what I mean. I'm holding in my hands a copy of Look-In magazine dated the 4th of June 1983, and as you can see, it's got Star Wars on the cover. You got Luke Skywalker there, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2-D2, the whole gang. And they're ready to do battle on the forest moon of Endor. And that's because this issue was launched just as The Return of the Jedi was coming out in cinemas in 1983. I say we take this over to camera 2, stick it under the retroscope, and zoom right in. Okie dokie folks, here we go. It's Look-In magazine. It's the 4th of June 1983 issue. That's actually issue number 23 of that year. And you can see that it was priced at 20p. No free gifts with this one as far as I'm aware. But you do get the opportunity to start your new Duran Duran collector page set. And we'll get to that. I think it's on the back cover actually, but we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, here you can see the gang's all here again. A Return of the Jedi Color Center. Now everybody was going Star Wars crazy in the summer of 1983. I remember it very well. I was 10 years old. I never actually saw Return of the Jedi in the cinema, funnily enough. Saw The Empire Strikes Back twice, but I'll save those stories for another time. But I never saw Return of the Jedi in the cinema. Instead, I watched it on pirate video at my friend Tristan's house. I wish I had seen it on the big screen, but it didn't matter. It didn't affect my love of the movie. Most of all, I remember Number 73, the TV show that was on Saturday mornings. And that's where I think I saw my first clip of Return of the Jedi. And I remember it being the speeder bike chase on the forest moon of Endor. I'd love to watch that again. And you can watch most episodes of Number 73 on YouTube in their entirety. Funnily enough though, you can't see that particular episode. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Season 3, Episode 3 of Number 73. And it's the only one that isn't available. You can see little clips of it here and there, but not the whole thing, which is a real shame because I'd love to see that again. Anyway, let's get back to this issue of Look-In magazine. What else is on the cover to get you excited? 30 Alien Chase electronic games to be won. That sounds cool. We got to check that out. Plus, Thompson Twins, volleyball, The Fall Guy, Danger Mouse, and lots more. Now these, Fall Guy and Danger Mouse, would almost certainly be comic strips based on those characters. Let's find out. So let me just move this along and open the magazine up. Here we go. Well, straight away we can see a star portrait. I remember this very well. The readers of Look-In magazine used to send in their paintings of the stars of the day. There's Boy George, sent in by, who's that? Paul Kelly of Rednall. And then you got a wonderful picture of E.T. Looks like it's been coloured in with felt tip pen there. That's very good actually. But the E.T. one, okay, well, it's been sent in by Maria Hardy from New Haven, and she's only 12, so I think she's done a very good job with that one. Well done. Well done, Maria Hardy. And there's Arnold of Different Strokes by Victor Hilliard, age 13. And people also sent in pictures of themselves meeting stars, and here is somebody meeting Eric Morecambe. And that was Elizabeth Kimber, 10 years old, of Attleborough. Here's Fiona Dauncey wearing her Irish dancing costume. Was Irish dancing a big thing in the 80s? I think it might have been, you know. Okay, what's on this page? Lookalikes. I think that singer Kiki D below left looks like Charlie's Angel Tanya Roberts below right. Could you please print their pictures so other Look-In readers can make their own decision? Claire Phillips of Hungerford. Do they look alike? Kind of. Anyway, happy birthday To all of these people down here, you've got the proles like you and me, like Kevin Vaughan Evans, who's 8 years old on Thursday, but then you've also got Bjorn Borg, who's 27 on Monday. Good to know. Any other stars there? I suppose they put a star next to them. Yeah, Steve Jones, he's the Pyramid Game presenter. No, I don't either. And Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran, can you believe he was turning 21 in 1983? And thankfully Duran Duran are still going strong. Long may that continue. All right, let's keep going. And now we have our first cartoon strip of the week. And it's Cannon and Ball. Rock on, Tommy. Ah, Bobby Ball, sadly missed. And here they were in their prime. Well, in a comic strip, but still in their prime. They were huge back in the early 80s. Do you remember? Of course you remember. By heck, Bobby, is that a leek? Don't be daft, Chuck. It's a cauliflower. I'll cook it with cheese for dinner. Oh, I want to see him snapping his braces and going, rock on, Tommy. Maybe not this episode. Oh my God, that's how Rod Hull fell to his death, isn't it? Blimey. Makes you think. And some news about what's going on TV. Remember, we only had 4 channels. Kids, if you're watching, we only had 4 channels back in 1983, and one of those was only about a year or so old. That was Channel 4. What's this one about? Channel 4's Switch, Friday at 6 p.m. I don't remember seeing that. And what's this? The Ghosts of Cape Horn? A survival special presentation. A square rigger wrecked on the treacherous rocks of the Lizard in 1911. Right, I'll watch that then. Well, I would have done. Battle of the Choirs. And is that Barry Sheen? I think it is. What's he up to? It's a program called Just Amazing. Oh, I remember Just Amazing. Fans of the unlikely, the amusing, or the unusual will be able to watch some spectacular feats on a brand new Yorkshire TV program that begins on Saturday at 7 p.m. It will be presented by motorcycle ace Barry Sheen, himself no stranger to daring do. Comedian Kenny Lynch, he was on everything, wasn't he? And Jan Raven, don't remember Jan Raven. And the Thompson Twins. And they are, of course, reminding us that the Thompson Twins drew their name from the Tintin characters of the same name, although the funny thing was there were 3 of them and only 2 of the actual Thompson Twins. They're not twins and none of them's called Thompson. Of course, this is 1983, so this is early days for the Thompson Twins. I'm pretty sure Into the Gap hadn't come out by that point. Moving on. The Fall Guy. Lee Majors, thankfully, is still with us. He's an old man now. A couple of pages of Fall Guy action to keep you going until he's back on the telly at the weekend. I used to love the Fall Guy. We all did. And it's not everybody who can drive a sporty vehicle out of an aeroplane and go yee-haw whilst doing it. Colt gets the order on the radio within his car. Smooth as silk. Excuse me, but what kind of nut am I speaking to? Will Colt accept the challenge? Don't miss next week's installment. I won't. Ah, here are those alien chase games they were telling us about on the front cover. That's a weird looking machine. What is it? Double-sided, I think it is, you know. Win an exciting alien chase electronic game and challenge your friends. What do you have to do? Take a look at the motley collection of 6 aliens above right. Can you identify them? There's Mork. Poor old Robin Williams. That's Yoda. I've just seen him on the big screen this evening. And Chewie, Chewbacca, E.T. Everyone had gone E.T. mad the previous year, so no one was likely to have forgotten him already. That's a Gelfling, and that is Makara. Okay. Give me my alien chase electronic game, please. Now what's this? A fun assortment. We got some jokes. What happened when the wheel was invented? It caused a revolution. Brilliant. That's a good one. I'll use that next week. What is yellow with greasy wings? A bread and butterfly. Nice. Okay, this is good fun. What did the trampoline performer say? Life has its ups and downs, but I always bounce back. Wise words. Let's move on. Okay, Murphy's Mob. Now, I don't remember much about Murphy's Mob, but I'll tell you what, this looks like a cool comic strip. Deep in the night, a violent thunderstorm rages over Dunmore. Like most of the other locals, Jerry is unable to sleep. What's this? They're at Dunmore Football Club. I might have to check that out later. Read every panel. Looks like good fun. Okay. Can the mob raise enough money? Find out next week. Okay, we're getting to the center of the magazine. It wasn't a very long magazine each week. I think it was something like 30 pages, 40 pages. And of course, in the middle, you had either side of the pull-out poster, you had all the TV listings. Should we turn it around and see what was on telly? Yeah, come on, let's do that. Okay, here you see all the regional commercial ITV stations. And there's Anglia, Central, Granada, and there's LWT. That's the one we used to watch. So Saturday, 4th of June, number 73 at 10:30 in the morning, Metal Mickey on at 5:30, The Fall Guy at 6 p.m, followed by Just Amazing, and then Chaz and Dave's Knees Up at 7:45. Sunday, what have we got? Oh, nothing much on Sunday, boring. Let's see what's on Monday. Different Strokes, Monday evening at 5:15. You've got Razzmatazz on Tuesday afternoon at 4:20, Crossroads. And Wednesday, the 8th of June, that would be my sister's birthday. How old was she turning in 1983? 12. What was on TV on the day of her 12th birthday? Rod, Jane and Freddie. She would have been too old for that. Maybe. And the next day, 9th of June, Knight Rider on Thursday evening, 6:35 p.m, almost the weekend. We used to love our Friday nights, and they would start, actually, it says make me laugh and all this stuff. Where's Monkey? That's what I want to know. We would be watching on Friday nights, Hooray for Harold Lloyd. And then we'd be watching Monkey. And here's the promised Return of the Jedi section. At last, Star Wars returns to the big screen with the third film in the series, The Return of the Jedi. It opens this Thursday, June the 2nd, and completes the middle trilogy. There should be 9 films in all. Which began with Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back. The new movie ties up lots of loose ends created by the first two. Let's see what they say here. In Jedi, the leading characters return to do battle once again for the Rebel Alliance and the Imperial Forces of Darkness. They include Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, Darth Vader, Ben Kenobi, plus Chewbacca and C-3PO. What about R2-D2? Phil Parsons talked to British actors Anthony Daniels and Peter Mayhew about their roles in Jedi, which could be the last Star Wars film for quite some time. It certainly was. Took another 16 years for The Phantom Menace to appear. And here's a little interview with Anthony Daniels. Will there be any more Star Wars films? This one finished the original trilogy. Originally, people were talking about 9, but various things have happened since then. They're such hard work, and the cost of making them has increased enormously. The producer, George Lucas, is going to take a year or 2 off because he hasn't seen his family much and he's tired. If there are more films, who will be in them? I would be the only one as far as I know. That's not to say everybody gets wiped out. There will be a long jump into the past if we make more movies, so various characters weren't even born then. Is the C-3PO suit uncomfortable? It was appalling. And I very nearly didn't do the second film because there seemed no point in going through all that again. I bet you're glad you did, Mr. Daniels. Okay, lovely stuff. It's a great picture of Anthony Daniels there. And I love this. Wow, look at this lovely look-in style center spread. Salacious crumb. I'll tell you what, I loved, and I must put this under the retroscope one day, I loved the novelization of Return of the Jedi, and specifically the junior novelization, which is the one I owned. I was 10 years old, and I probably could have handled the grown-up one, but I had the junior one. It had a lovely section of colour photographs, colour stills from the film in the middle of the book. And I looked at those over and over and over. I loved it. A future episode. So the interview with Anthony Daniels continues on to this next page. What does C-3PO stand for? Wow, brace yourself, folks. It's Class 3 Protocol Operative. Did you know that? I didn't know that. C-3PO, Class 3 Protocol Operative. Well, I never. Is this film as exciting as the first two? Well, of course it's more exciting. It's not going to say, well, not really. Of course it's more exciting. It has a kind of completeness. It also ends. Okay? It has a good solid ending. Oh, I see. It's rather like going to a restaurant. If I don't get a pudding at the end of the meal, I feel cheated. To my mind, there's a whole dessert course in this film. Nicely put, Mr. Daniels. And here's a shorter interview with Peter Mayhew, also sadly missed. I did meet him once, and I still have the 10x8 print that he signed for me very kindly. So what did Mr. Mayhew say? Are the growls your own voice? No, unfortunately it's dubbed on like a lot of other things. I believe they are actual animal noises. That was me. Has Chewbacca changed much? Well, his hair's a bit different. Just checking out the Channel 4 listings for that week. Brookside on Saturday evening at 5:05. Of course, you've got Countdown on at 5:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. Oh, and the Munsters, do you remember? They had reruns of the Munsters. Great stuff. The Dick Van Dyke Show. He is still alive and doing remarkably well by all accounts. And we've got some letters here. What's your view? Fame Watch. I am very glad to see that Fame is back on our screens again because I enjoyed the last series so much. I also watched both of the programmes which were filmed while they were over here in England, says Marcus Bate, age 12, of Widnes. And that's Bernie Winters, isn't it? My mum knew Bernie Winters from her showbiz days in the 60s. But hang on a minute, I'm writing to say how much I dislike Make Me Laugh. I think that Bernie Winters is too good for this sort of thing. Most of the comedians on the show I have never even heard of and are real fools. Rubbish. I think American programmes are rubbish. Not to mention the actors. They all look plastic, especially on Dallas. The only one in the programme that looks anything like a human is Miss Ellie. Starfleet. Okay, I must confess, I never really got into Starfleet, but I kind of wish I had. It looks awesomely cool. I think I had the DVDs at some point. I bought the DVDs planning to watch the whole lot and never got around to it. Should I buy the DVDs again and check it out? Let me know in the comments. Cool designs, I like this. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Dee Hepburn's transfer from football to volleyball. A few years ago, Dee Hepburn successfully played football in the film Gregory's Girl, which also featured one Claire Grogan, now an altered image. But she's left her strip in the changing room for the next few weeks and taken up a new sport for Channel 4. She's presenting volleyball on TV, but she's not playing the game herself. Okay. Humbrol kits. I had a few of those in the old days. I'd like another one now. We all loved Danger Mouse, that's where he lived, under that brick. It was David Jason who did Danger Mouse, and I think Terry Scott who did Penfold, correct? And there's Baron Greenback. Great stuff. Airfix builds excitement. What are these things? These look cool. That's how it starts, and then I see it's taking shape and you end up with this thing. Wow, that looks pretty cool. What's this all about? An extract from a book? I don't remember Look-In featuring extracts from novels. Probably because I skipped past at about 100 miles an hour looking for more information about the Thompson twins. Anyway, Moonfleet. This is one of the books we all used to read in the old days. When we were at school, everybody read Moonfleet. You got a whole page from the novel here to enjoy. In this week's extract from a very famous story, 15-year-old John Trenchard has let curiosity get the better of him, and he's ended up in a smuggler's den. However, help has arrived. Can you imagine the youngsters of today sitting down with a magazine, with a magazine in the first place, and then getting to page 27 and sitting down to read a full-page extract from Moonfleet? Can you? Because I can't. Bucks Fizz, the comic strip. I love this. How much fun is that? Ooh, lucky man, he's getting a kiss from Cheryl Baker. So we're getting towards the end of the magazine now, the end of this week's issue. Watch out for next week's terrific issue. I loved this. Kajagoogoo Colour Centre. Yeah, it was nice. I always got quite excited about the fact that we could see next week's cover. More Return of the Jedi info. Parker Video Games competition. So that's what it is. 5 big prizes. The Duran Duran collector page. That'll be on the back cover. John Taylor. We'll see who we get this week in a few moments. Kajagoogoo Colour Centre. I saw recently at the O2 in London Howard Jones supporting Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. It was a brilliant concert, but it wasn't just Howard Jones, because some of you may know this. Howard Jones now has, as part of his band, Nick Beggs, the bass player of Kajagoogoo. And it was Nick Beggs who wrote the famous Kajagoogoo hit, Too Shy. And so he's allowed to play the whole thing, and Howard Jones sings it, and he sings it brilliantly. It's amazing. It was a great concert. In fact, I saw Howard Jones twice in the last year, because I saw him at the London Palladium as well. That's 41 years ago. They were just kids. But now Nick Beggs is still going strong. Good for him, and good for Howard Jones, who I think is now 70. And I think we're done, folks. One last treat for this week's issue. And it's a collector page for Duran Duran, the first of 5. And of course it's Andy Taylor. Andy Taylor, who very sadly has not been well at all in recent years, but who did reunite with the rest of the boys from Duran Duran for their latest album, Dance Macabre, which is pretty good. Some new songs, some covers, some revived old songs with a new Halloween-y twist. Check it out, it's good. Let's find out a bit more about Andy Taylor. Born in 1961, that would have made him 22 at the time. Education, music was most important to me. Well said. Favourite drink, Earl Grey tea. I mean, it doesn't sound very rock and roll, but I was drinking Earl Grey tea earlier today, so it is quite rock and roll. Favourite own record, Planet Earth. Good choice. My goodness me, they still had plenty of hits in them. Favourite TV shows, cartoons, Crossroads, Basil Brush, and Star Trek. Likes being married, my parents, tea, work, watching TV with my dog, horses, touring, blue eyes, milk, science fiction movies, crisps, and chess. That's a selection of likes that I would hazard most pop stars today could not hope to match. Dislikes, breaking strings. Well, don't we all? And that's it, folks. Look In magazine, week ending the 4th of June 1983, with all our heroes from the Return of the Jedi on the front cover. I hope you enjoyed that wistful meander through the TV, music and movie highlights of the summer of 1983. Thank you for joining me. I would be so grateful if you could like and share the video. And if you could subscribe to Golem Telly, if you haven't done so already, even better. And don't forget, hit that notifications bell so you don't miss my next show, which is coming up in around 3 or 4 days' time. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.
Evening shadows deep.